Hello, hello, beautiful souls, friends all around the world. I hope you're doing as well as possible in these quite massive times of change. So today I've been again called to come a bit online and just say, first of all, welcome December. We came quite far in this year, which was of course incredible. Still is a very fast changing year, and I'm more than sure that most of you are agreeing that we were deeply transforming, deeply facing things we were basically thinking probably we already dealt with it, but somehow, yes, the energies are just requiring to truly come to that bottom of things and really come to that bigger closure. Because maybe some of you don't know, but this year is the year 9, if you calculate 2025 together. And this is all about, of course, coming to a closure. But beyond that, we are as well in a big thousands of years karmic cycle and knot, which we are right now, or not just now, but the past few weeks, month, really unknotting, and like that helping the whole collective field, us as humanity, to shift basically to that next possible potential of our consciousness. Okay, so we are not just here talking about timelines, but it's really that next potential which can help us now just see things from a different angle and really help us to let go things which were basically just serving us to grow, as the soul is truly only here, and not just here but through the whole beautiful human experience, to gain new experiences, to gain different tastes, different feelings, and then of course with that in the back basically extend further out of the human experience back basically home into the eternal living existence. But today actually I really have a certain topic, a certain theme, which I've been just like watching, witnessing, observing, also myself diving deep into it, and of course through my clients, through my energetic work, it was just more and more mirrored and really was showing that everything what is right now for all of us, conscious or not conscious, unfolding is actually that the soul has now this kind of internal overview of its life. Okay, and we're talking of course now this lifetime. So it's like more than just going inwards in these more times, let's say end of the year, and you're thinking about the year and all, but it's like really this time going much more deeper. So this means onto a soul level. And why is this like that? Because like I mentioned, we are now ready to tap into the next possible consciousness potential. So it's not just another year we are closing up and saying, okay, it was a heavy year, or I experienced this or that, but it's really shifting us as this collective humanity collective forward into a next possible experience we didn't experience yet. So it wouldn't be another loop in another form, color, version, which we already went through so many versions of anything and everything in this 3D, but that we can now a little bit more open this window into this next existence outside of this reality. Okay, and I'm more than sure that all of you, of course, been witnessing what was going on, not just on the earth but around the orbit, like the 3-eye atlas, comet or ship I mean, everything, even the solar storms, geomagnetic storms, and really so much in such a short, limited time, just to show us, yes, there's so much more potential of consciousness trying, and not just trying, it is like really entering our old field, okay? The old field, what we knew, what we felt, how we understood things. So that kind of potential I'm talking about, right? And this potential, of course, this frequency, massive, cosmically earthly, is like pushing. Imagine now this is like our field, right? Our bodies. And it's pushing like into our field. And what will it do? It will, of course, then, like this, what is consciousness frequency? It's light, right? It's shining then onto parts of us which we, again, didn't even know maybe anymore that it's existing there, like unconscious things, unconscious action programs, and so on, but also fears and limitations. Everything was what kept us in that kind of potential and not allowing us to expand. So basically this push of fresh light is actually helping us to awake, right? Awake from that state in which we are now, or which we experienced and understood and knew till now. And now imagine when this starts to knock on our doors and knock in our cells, in our organs, in our emotions, in our mental field, what will it do? It will, of course, bring firstly like a kind of, let's say, like a kind of chaos, right? Because it's like, oh no, it's not stable anymore. Stable because we knew it's stable till this now moment. So it's our ego, which of course connected with our mental, and we will not now judge it, but our ego is always here to protect what it knows, okay? So if now all of a sudden this kind of flares and light is starting to enter programs, enter structures, enter stabilities, which we call that this is our stability, of course we will get, or the ego, in panic and think something is wrong, right? So something is wrong, like, am I not stable anymore? Am I don't know, losing my mind? Am I losing my ideas? And suddenly these questions are coming up. Who am I? Who am I becoming? Who was I? Because what will this light do? It will suddenly question your ego. Are you really only this, what you thought you are? But because that's a stable one form, not expanding further, it will of course then shake you to the core, because the ego will think or let you feel, oh my God, I thought I am just this. I am just Gabi. I'm just the musician. I'm just the healer and nothing and no one else, right? But expansion in our human evolution, of course, is asking us to always, always grow. How can we grow? We need to tap into new potential. We cannot grow from something which we already know till now, because then you are just in this knowing zone. We call that comfort zone, and we hold on to that because we mastered that, right? We are becoming good in that. We already are good in that. But what then? Then it starts to become stagnant. This is not evolution. So all of this consciousness, all of this light had to come massively in to really start to shaken all what was so sure in itself. Our ego was so sure. I'm very famous. I'm the best. I have my job. I have my family. I have my home. I am fine. But again, beautiful souls, it is then just bringing of course, you can be satisfied, but as an evolutional process which never ends, you are actually stuck without understanding that you're stuck. Why? Because you want, or the ego wants to protect what is already stable. And that's the biggest trap of humans, of our brain, of our being, that we then think again, we achieved something, that's the end, I'm satisfied, don't ask me for more. But the soul will tell you something else, because the soul is the one who wants always new experiences. That's why the soul actually came incarnated as well in this human form, okay? To basically learn always new things. Okay, so as many might, I'm not saying everyone, some will now feel it, some will feel it later, but some already feel it, that have this kind of question, like, what now? So you're feeling inside something new wants to enter your reality, some new ideas, new consciousness frequency, which wants to change you to your next version of self. And this next version can be also equally not just successful, but equally satisfied, joyful, harmonious, stable in something new. So you will not really lose something, but this will be the feeling the ego will let you feel. So the ego will let us feel that we are starting to fail in that what was till now stable. Please take this really in. The ego will let you feel that you're losing something which you were stable in. And what means stable? I've been successful. It was really like bringing me, I don't know, great money, or I've been having a status in that area, or with these friends, and so on and so forth. But if we become honest, and that's now the big challenge, in the outside it will look fine, but the challenge will be to really feel, does it truly bring you still essential joy? Does it really motivate you to go there? Are your eyes still glowing when you do that work, when you are in that relationship, when you are, I don't know, in that house you built with all your passion? That's now the real question which will trigger your growth. So this means, in the outside, we might say, I am okay, I am fine, I have everything sorted. But sorting means we are placing ourselves into a position and stay there. Evolution isn't stable. It's not static. It's always moving you to discover more. But what is more? It's pushing you to discover your potential, which is still here somewhere and here somewhere, waiting, untapped. So it's there, but you kind of, I don't know if you want to try something new, because here I'm already successful, familiar with it, I'm stable. That's all ego. So the ego is there to protect us, that we, are fine in life. So it's kind of fighting for us, right? But if it goes too much into, let's say now on the scale, into one way, so this means only the ego decides, then through time you become stagnant, and your soul will inside of you not feel happy. Okay, now we can say, okay, the soul has no gender, but it still is your spark, which is helping you to live constantly a life which is alive. You shall not become stagnant. You shall not become dull. You shall not become just perfect structured and perfect in your, achievements. That's great, but it's not the only thing which brings you further. It is actually that spark. And now we go back to your spiritual self, to your soul. It's this God source spark, which is like this innocent child. Look at the children, especially the young one. You can see that spark. They want to explore, right? And that's it, which we shall never, ever lose on the journey, because it's never about an end result, an end goal, like I have my best job, I have the best, I don't know, house, or I can travel whenever I want. That's all great, but if it's not with that joy that you're an explorer of life, explorer of your own self, then it's actually just something which will keep you in a loop without you even realizing, till one day you might wake up and you say, I have everything, but I don't feel fulfilled. And that's exactly this insight, which is our compass. So it's not our compass, our our ego, who has everything under control. It helps us with, let's say, with our dreams to then manifest, what kind of tools we need, where to go, what details we need for that to get there. That's all the great practical side of the ego. So ego is not bad, but to let the ego drive the life, that's our karmic loop, all right? So that's where we are actually getting rather off-road than being aligned with our soul road, with our soul plan, where we came to this planet, right? Because we can so easy drown in that material world, which has so much different, distractions and temptations, beautiful souls, temptations. And we will say, oh, that's all normal. Well, insight, essential, when we just put away all the ego masks, and I will now speak also about that a bit more, essential, we are not really beings which need this kind of distraction, constantly something from the outside. That's only how we've been trained, that if we don't have it, if I don't have the best, I don't know, house, job, confirmation that everybody praises me, then suddenly I feel empty, or I feel lost, or I feel insecure that I'm not then so great. That's exactly what I mean with this ego. When the ego becomes too dominant on our road, then suddenly it needs constantly all this, let's call it validation, outside nourishment, because otherwise you feel less and less, not just that you're not having a worth, but you feel less and less that you're fitting even into this world, or that something is wrong, and things like that, feelings like that, because we were so much leaning then onto what the ego all wanted and to achieve. And if everything is taken away, and this can be overnight, beautiful souls, I don't know, can be a health problem, and suddenly you understand, oh my God, I can't go to work, maybe my partner leaves me because now I'm in the hospital, or whatever it is, right? I'm going now into extreme, but just to say, then you start to realize, oh my God, actually this all was just distraction, and not gifting me that I'm here an explorer, that child, right, who really wants to explore life and get experiences for the soul, okay? And again, everyone has its own unique journey. So I'm not saying don't work anymore, but just to bring in that remembrance. Because, and now I go back what I was starting on the beginning to share with this new light coming into our field, now, especially towards the end of the year, because it wants really to hit that rock bottom of all this what we thought we are. So this means that we thought even I'm not good enough, that we thought, oh my God, I'm the program, that my body is having sickness, oh my God, I don't know, I will never succeed and be free and be able to travel around the world. All of these things, programs, imprints, are actually what the ego was believing. And because it was believing it, you became it. So you almost actually, in a way, became limited what you've been feeling, what you've been told, and especially starting, of course, since childhood. Okay? And here we are back. Why is this now important? Because the ego is now cracking through these different masks, like I'm successful, I'm the great, I will fulfill everyone's wishes because then I will be loved and accepted and so on. So all this, the light, the consciousness will, and is already very fast, cracking. Yeah, these are masks. These are not really who we are. But the identity was built through all the years, through this life, okay? Our parents showed us, they expected something, friends, schools, culture, and so on and so forth, religion. And when we start to really feel this higher consciousness, this light, which is now, again, massively being pumped into our field through a 3-eye atlas, through solar storms, through, I mean, I'm sure most of you who are watching now know about all these things, but they're all bringing so much light in that the ego, which is holding on to the structure, I am this, I have my control, I can't lose it now because I built all that, that's me. This is starting like crazy now, dissolving, breaking, cracking. And people who are very much, leaning into that they had this great job or they're in a special place and really holding on to that. It's not me, right? But saying that, but it's actually the energy will slowly break all away from them, from all of us, because it's not the truth. Because the identifying of self through this outer, through my job, through my money, through my status, through my all, it's a lie. So we believed that lie, right? Like, I'm only this, I'm nothing else. That's actually a universal lie. So for our brain, it's not a lie. We see that we are doing that. So, I'm a cook, so I'm a cook, right? Essential, it's a lie because you're not that cook. You're actually a divine being in human form on a journey passing through life that the soul is gaining experiences. But the mind, the ego, knows I'm a cook. I've been born in a cooking family and so on and so forth, right? For example. So that's now a bit hard to understand because some of you might think, well, it's not a lie, it's what I live. Right. But for your soul, for your divinity, for your essential being who you are, it's actually not a universal truth. It's only an experience you're having for this now moment. And again, as we're moving into this next level, especially next year, beautiful one, 2026, if you calculate it, it's number 1. And 1 is like huge. We're entering like a completely fresh energy. It's like a reset. It's like a new start. But not only a new start, everything will amplify and it will become to speed up. Like you will almost feel things which happened before, I don't know, in 5 hours, it will feel like almost, 50 minutes, right? So it's like really, it's compressing because higher we start to vibrate in our consciousness, right? Like spiraling higher, it's actually slower it becomes, like shorter it becomes, because you're almost like in this eye of the storm, right? So it's really fast, but actually it's getting more quiet, more compensated in this now moment. And that's why if we're not getting our stuff together, especially now, it's going to become just tougher and tougher. And that's the learning part. So we are not just here to build an empire with a job and make piles of money and so on. That's all fantastic, because you can then buy things and go everywhere and everyone knows you and you are on the TV and I don't know what, right? But at the end, again, a storm comes, a big earthquake, and I'm not now spreading fears, but this can happen. Suddenly all this is gone and you will feel even more lost, because life wants to show you, don't identify with something outside, almost with a cloth, which the next moment you can be without that cloth, but you're still existing, but you forgot that you have constantly you. And more you're concentrating back on you, you're the biggest value, what you have, and your biggest anchor in change, because you're not losing you, but you can lose a house, a job, or this and that. And then you will feel unanchored, unstable, chaotic. I'm losing my life. What's wrong? That's exactly why I came basically today online, because this is what we shall now more than ever remember. Has nothing to do what you believe in, religion, country, color, form. You essential are the same like me, the neighbor, and so on and so forth. Okay, so it's really about to get into that anchor. Okay, so when you maybe have now challenges, it's only because you placed too much of your own value, of your own, how you see it as a value, then onto yourself. So this means maybe it's job problems, maybe it is that you have no money, maybe it is, I don't know, with another partner having issues. And that's all learning steps. Yes, fantastic that we have those learning places and spaces and people, but never to place them above us as a value. And this we do even subconsciously when we are seeing it as this massive problem. That's already when you're placing it onto a pedestal. We shall just see it as a problem, not even a problem, as a challenge to learn. Yes, but you are in charge, because you are that anchor. Remember what I said a few minutes ago. And as this ego is now more and more losing its masks, yeah, these are the identities I was talking before. I am, I don't know, the famous healer, I'm a musician, I'm a cook, I'm a mother, I'm this and that. Yeah, these are all roles of identity, and longer we live them, more we believe that we are it. Yeah, I'm only a mother, I'm only a human, I am human, I'm only a musician. Okay, so, and this is actually what we shall not get stuck onto that role. It's one of our potentials, but that's not who we are. We are all. So this means we are eternal potential. And as we are moving higher in frequency, it's already here, that next potential. So as we are closing slowly that year, think about what is actually your soul trying to inspire you. And now you're going to say, I can't hear my soul. You can, because the soul has different little nudges which is showing you. Maybe it's suddenly you see a poster, I don't know, a picture, something, and it reminds you, oh my God, that's, I don't know, one person is like going onto a ship, or I don't know what's on the picture, like, and sailing around the world. Okay, maybe that's on the picture, and you're like, oh my God, when I was small, or there was a moment when I was a teenager, I remember that feeling of freedom. What if I could go there? So you see, these are these little nudges. It's not like directly that you will say, I can't hear my soul, but actually it's showing you with little details along your way in your daily life, in when you go to the store or on the road, little details. Even if you see an animal passing, it has a message. Maybe it's a deer, maybe it's showing you, hey, maybe step a little bit more into your sensitivity, right? Maybe it's I don't know, a wolf. Maybe it's showing you, hey, you have a potential as well that you can become a leader of something, maybe of the job, of the hobby you're doing, that you can inspire others to share, that you don't need just to go to the job and home, but now maybe this, what you know, that knowledge, you can now, as the leader, as this wolf, show others. That's all the soul showing you, because it's always there with you, with us, guiding us, our compass. We can't get lost, but we can get into loops. That's true, we can. So this means, like, when we are not really learning things till the end, it will always come as a loop back. So this can be in relationship, in ways of being, right? You think, oh, I'm always a kind person. And of course, we are not like always the same, but just saying now as an example, that this can then also bring like, that your ego is trying to make you believe, well, you're good, you just helped someone out. But then you go home and then you're blaming your cat that she, I don't know, was sleeping on your bed instead on the ground or something. So you will try to, or the ego will try to convince you through 1 or 2 or 3 actions what you already are, but you didn't embody it really. You just want to be nice, but you are not holding the frequency of kindness yet. Okay, these are really tricky things of our ego, to be someone which we actually are not. And I want to jump back again with this light coming into our space, okay? This kind of new consciousness. So it's shining light onto these masks. And when they start, these ego identity masks to break, what is actually beneath it? We're going to see the truth. So we're going to see actually the truth that nobody else needs to tell us. Actually, you have a bit of arrogance. Actually, you are more unstable or more insecure than you're showing us. Many things we're going to see beneath these identities which we build up. And again, it maybe sounds through my explanation a bit complicated, but actually it's not. It's going to organically start to reveal to you who you truly are. And if you are still someone without judgment, that you still didn't listen when your intuition was telling you, don't do that just because you will then get, I don't know, more money, or don't do that choice because then you will be, again, more successful or more accepted. But inside you felt and you knew it's wrong, that moment to do that, but the ego didn't care because it will bring you fame or something, right? That you will gain from it, but you went against your own truth. So these things will start now to be shown to you. So I don't need to show it to you anymore. Even the world will not need to anymore be the mirror for you. That's the light. That's the consciousness. That's the 3i Atlas. That's the solar flares. All of this light frequency will expose it for you. So this means I don't need to come and tell you, you're still quite arrogant. It will show it itself to yourself. And that's the amazing thing now, that we basically just need to look what is starting to reveal itself. And again, more you're afraid because you're so strong holding that you are this person in social media, and everybody knows you by the status, that you have all your ducks in the row, and beneath maybe you're not. These people, or maybe even you who are listening now, will have it a bit tough, because they will think, if I let go and my mask slipping and I will be seen, dang, what they will think about me. But you know what? It's all about you becoming authentic. So first we have to see what was beneath these masks. All these years we were lying to ourselves, and even this lie can be often subconscious, because we were trained, be nice, help everyone. Even inside you often didn't even feel that you have time or energy or even want to help, right? That all would be your truth. But because it was expected from you and so on and so forth, everyone created that or fed that mask that you're just always this nice person and so on. So all kinds of masks will fall now, okay? I'm not just talking about some malicious, egoistic people, like all sorts of masks. So even these masks, when we say like, okay, actually, I'm more shy than I'm representing outside, but I had to be strong to survive life, all right, or my challenges. But we all are now being gifted that we can slowly reveal ourselves to ourselves and learn about ourselves, okay? Because then, only then, we can become authentic. And our world for sure needs authentic people, because what is then this new earth we're speaking about? It's us bringing with new, fresh consciousness the truth, okay? And the truth can build new foundation. It can build new structures of being between each other, yeah, between humans, animals, nature, Gaia, all of that. But it starts with us to becoming real with us. And real means even, yes, I, Gabi, have bad days. I cry too. I as well have moments of giving up. That's all becoming real. We don't need perfect ego masks just to be then validated from the outside, to feel we are, I don't know, great, or we are accepted and we can, make money with it and all of that, okay? That's all lies we were accepting, we were living through our wounds, through our beliefs, because we believed we are these wounds. We believed we have to be like that to be in this world. And as we are cracking the the code of the old world, we will then suddenly come to the essential codes of the real life, of the real world. And this real world is actually that we are not all what we experience. So we are not the wounds, we are not the fear, we are not the limitation. That's all waiting beneath the masks of the ego, which is trying to hold what we know together. So whatever is going on now in your life, with you, within you, in your emotions, in your field, in your daily life, if it's really looking like a chaos, like a tornado coming, really like storming through, it's okay. You're gonna say, well, it's not okay. It will show you beneath all of that what truly was your path, what truly was your alignment, where to go. So sometimes we believed we have to stay there because it's, it's our family, it's our job, it's, what we knew, without knowing that it was never really aligned with our soul. It was maybe rather suppressing us, limiting us, not even maybe supporting us. How many of you know that from families where you thought, okay, but it's my mother, my father, my sister, and so on. till we realize the essential soul family, right? Our soul family worldwide is actually the one which then will support me, but I need to get there. So shall I stay with my, not in all examples, but should I stay with my blood family? Because they're my family, right? Mother, father, I have to follow these rules. We can be grateful. We had an agreement as a soul. They helped us to come as a portal into this human experience, right? They gifted us life. So we can be grateful, but it doesn't mean we have now to follow till end of our life that structure, holding it together, because this is how it is. That's what I said before. This is what I know. But that's not your truth. The truth is the soul wants to expand you further and always. That's evolution. Nothing and no one will ever be able to stop evolution. But you can suffer in the loop, because the suffer will be, you will feel that you're not fulfilled where you are, but you're just staying there because I have to. It's my parents, it's my boss, it's my this, it's my that, okay? So now as the masks are crumbling, falling off, this feeling of loss will come up. The loss, because it's almost like when you live for so long, something, of course, it becomes a part of you, and it will feel like I said, like a loss feeling, right? But this loss feeling is equally like an initiation, because what will happen? What did happen after every love break you had, okay, in a relationship? We usually, after some time, of course, we had pain and so on, we kind of matured, right? So often you didn't then maybe do the same, I don't want to say mistake, but you just learn from those heavy moments, right? We kind of been shook to the core, and every time when this happens, we are maturing. So it is a growth process, okay? And just now for this end, to come to a conclusion of all what I'm saying here, is that when these masks are falling and we're going to see what the truth is beneath, that maybe you're not what you thought you are because you had to be, or you knew that you're not that, but you were trying to present it to the world to survive and so on. There is firstly this recognition to say to yourself the truth. And the truth is, yes, I've been not like that. Or, yes, I'm actually much more vulnerable, but I don't want to show it. Because then everyone will think that I'm not, I don't know, man enough or woman enough and all of that. And after that, you will find new potential there. Because it's almost like you have to go almost through this mud, right? So firstly you see with the light there is mud, okay? And this mud is, yeah, I'm fearful. And then when you see it and you're shining more light, then it dries it out, right? When light shines onto mud. And then you can just clean it up, right? And suddenly you can find fresh soil, you can find treasure, you can find this new potential. So you see the new potential is equally in the same moment waiting there when we confess to ourselves the truth. You don't need to confess this to me, not to your neighbor, not to your partner, but to yourself. That's the moment when you can then shift and tap into this new, fresh potential. And it's coming actually from your beautiful, innocent space where your inner child is laying. Because if you scroll back, if you just came online or if you watched from the beginning, I said that it is like this child which is going through the world with big eyes, sparkling eyes, and wants to experience life, right? This joy, this passion for newness. Later on, when we are becoming adults, most of people, adults then, you know, they have the stable job, they have their house, they have all of these things. They then are staying there because they think they achieved something great, and you know, that spark of this inner child can become more and more, you know, it dims that light, right, that spark. And it's all about now to find back that spark, because beneath that ego, beneath that structure, there's this child waiting with endless potential, and this child will actually bring you to this new earth experience, because the child knows, I can jump now. I know I'm hold from life, from my father, the great father. That's the same when we say the child is jumping off a cliff now because it just wants to jump into this water. It doesn't think, am I going to be hurt? Do I need to protect myself? Do I need this and that? It's there, and it's full there, completely in it, right? So that's actually the biggest message of today's consciousness stream, that as the masks are now slipping, and you will feel actually that you're losing status, losing jobs, losing what you thought you built up your past 10 years, 5 years, 100 years, it doesn't matter, that actually that's the blessing, because it came to an point of the expansion, right? Like here you became, I don't know, the one who went on the journey. Here you built your job completely to the top, and that's actually all that range. But actually now life, soul, wants with the next year frequency, with higher consciousness, expand you out, basically to break those boundaries of your own self which you built by thinking, I'm now there, that's basically it, I'm gonna hold till the end of my life to that job, to that place, to this and that. And that's the blessing. We're gonna be exploded out of that structure which started actually to limit us, and not anymore gifting us truly expansion, joy, and so on. But we started to dry inside. We started to become isolated in our own life. We became really like not anymore motivated. Why I'm on this planet? It's all really making no more sense. It's becoming darker and darker, because we were starting to just build onto that structure which everybody does. Get your money, get your house, get this, and it's done. But where was the spiritual growth, that soul can have these new experiences to grow? Because that's actually the essential thing why we are at all on this planet. Not the job, not the money, not all of that. Because tomorrow it can just collapse and it's all gone. But this stays. So for the end of this consciousness stream, I really want to inspire you. Find ways where you daily find a spark. Maybe it's something you did some years ago, maybe even 3 years ago, or maybe just dreamed about it, a spark. Go on a place you never been, and it doesn't need to cost you. Go another road which you never drive all this everyday life, right? Where you're driving to your job and so on. Get yourself, I don't know, something small, you know, like something which is not now I have a new thing, but which gives you some joy. Maybe it's just a simple massage, right? It's like really find these things, moments, places which would spark you a bit, like you would be again this child, okay? Like what makes me really feel this joy, okay? Maybe it is just simple movie, whatever it is. Go out and dance, barefoot, in the snow, in the sand, it doesn't matter. But something which is breaking your own limitation of thinking, that's out of the normal, I can't do that. But this will help you now, as things will shift so extremely, even if you don't believe or accept anything what I'm sharing here today, it will still happen, because it's not me here deciding that, it's already decided cosmically earthly. So I came only to inspire you with little things to help you yourself from the transition of this ego. I don't want to just say no, ego death, because it's not a completely ego death. It's a transmutation of the ego into a bigger awareness of yourself, that you remember your divinity, that you remember that your soul is an endless, eternal, evolutionary journey. Okay? That's basically it. So we are not stopping at the house, at the home, at the job, but get out of this rot, because otherwise, I mean not otherwise, but it will still be taking away from you in a way which maybe then will more shock you, even you knew that it's not anymore serving you. So just help yourself to prepare a little bit for that transition, which will anyway happen. So it will happen in the way that it helps you to align back, to get into a new flow, get into new experiences, because your soul, our soul, needs expansion, and it's happening now. 2026 will 10 times be everything faster. So if you're not sorting it now, it will be even more into your face, and then you can't even think anymore, what can I choose? Because you will just be pushed off, pushed left and back into the lane. So just as a heads up, you still can add to its form of transition. So more you're now finding already, hey, I don't need actually really to hold so tight onto this job. If this boss doesn't want me anymore, okay, I know I'm already created the next better job for me, where I can thrive, where I can smile again and not be daily in stress in the job, or also find a new place. So I'm not really limited onto these outer things, which makes me right now believe that I'm a failure, that I'm losing it, that I'm not stable, and that's something wrong with me. That's all lies. And I truly wish you from all my heart that you just find again that spark for life, not what is all wrong in the world, because all what is wrong are those lies exposed by being transmuted by this bigger guidance above all us, yeah, which is source, which is light, which is unity, oneness, consciousness, because that's what is sorting it out for us. So it's not us who needs to fight against wars and all these criminal things and distortion out there. It's not us. It's our consciousness, which is awakening with the light and seeing the truth. That's the moment when it snaps and it starts to dissolve. Exactly like that. And so you don't need to be into panic, into kind of resistance, because you fear that you're losing job, places, spaces. But all of this take back, all these worries, all this stress, take back into your heart and get strong, settled into yourself. Because there, I will say it now, it's the biggest place where you're safe, where you're calm, and from there you're always perfectly led. There are no worries. There are growth experiences, yes, we can say now challenges, but you're not losing it in the outer, okay? So that's very important. So, and allow those masks to slip, because so many parts of you were never you. Not that fear, not what your parents told you, not what they expected from you. You don't need to be this perfect, successful being, but just breathe and become soft in beyond that structures of the ego, and become you again. because we need each of you to become this authentic being, so we can then together in this new frequency really seed and grow this beautiful new earth dream and experience. And it is already happening, so know that. Okay, so many little nudges between all of these consciousness streams moments today. So if you wish, you can of course re-listen, but for sure know that you're not losing now your old life identity, but you're actually just letting go of that old dress of yours and be ready for a new dress already waiting for you, new potential. Okay, so much more magic will unfold, know that. Much love from my heart to yours, and yeah, keep shifting, keep letting go, and just find that spark which every day, yes, wish to make you just more explore this life and see it beautiful again. Bye for now.